Hello. Hello, everybody. How are you doing? Today we are looking at Navatsuraku Music 102. Originally released April 2019. Only just over a year ago now. So what have we got in store today then? Well, it's another packed album. Total of 46 tunes, of which the final 6 are a throwback to Now 2, which was re-released for the first time on CD. That was the first one I ever owned on vinyl when I was tiny. I think I was about, trying to do the maths, 9. So I've grown up with the Now series, and it's been good for me doing these videos, really. It's by sheer quirk of fate, my interest in music has sort of coincided almost exactly with the Now era. And it's almost been a race through my own life these last, 37 years? First one was in 83. Very much coming to the present day almost now. Although, as you could probably hear, this first song harks back to something much older. My favourite things. Now, was that one that Gwen Stefani did? She did something like that, or something from The Sound of Music. My favourite things. How old is that song? 1959, the musical. Now, this actual song by Ariana, 7 Rings, it's rubbed a few people up the wrong way. Its lyrics are pretty materialistic. Breakfast at Tiffany's, bottles of bubbles, girls with tattoos who like getting into trouble, lashes and diamonds, ATM machines, buy myself all of my favourite things. Been through some bad shit. I should be a sad bitch. Who would have thought it had turned me to a savage? Rather be tied up with calls and not strings. Write my own checks like I write what I sing. Not sure what I make of that, really. Obviously did go through some bad shit. Maybe this is part of denial or the 7 stages of grieving. Yeah, it's interesting psychologically, the shadows of this song. Maybe not what was intended, but what comes out. Okay, yeah, interesting. Ariana Grande and 7 Rings. I mean, musically, it's vaguely interesting. It is a bit cheesy using that my favourite things thing. So I don't know really. I'll give it a 6 out of 10. Here's Sweet But Psycho, talking of sort of psychology and stuff and Jungian shadows. Sweet But Psycho, Ava Max. So here's another new pop lady. She sounds pretty much like everyone else. It's not too bad. It doesn't sound particularly psychotic. Fairly formulaic really, but it's okay. So here we are in 2019, and this is the sound of the last year of this decade, really. It's weird. It doesn't really feel like a cohesive decade like the 90s or the noughties. But of course, this is the last year of this decade now, so we can do a bit of looking back. I think this is fairly typical for late teens. Okay, Mark Ronson follows this, who's been around for a good old, I'd say a good 12, 13 years by this point. He's with Miley Cyrus. Nothing breaks like a heart. Her voice is really annoying on it, actually, to be honest. The music's quite interesting, quite epic. Should we stick it on? Does it remind you of anything? It reminds me of something. I wonder if it reminds you of the same thing. Jolene, 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 Jolene. Which I guess, bearing in mind Miley Cyrus's dad is Billy Ray Cyrus. You probably heard it when she was growing up. Yeah, this melody sounds a bit like so yeah, it's the nearest Mark Ronson ever gets to country, I suppose. It's so Jolene, isn't it? It really is. Mark Ronson, he really he turns his hand to anything, doesn't he? Right, okay, another weird collab next. And a really good one. I'll stick this one on as well. Calvin Harris and my old friend Rag and Bone Man. And it's another contender for best song of the album. Pretty much everything Rag and Bone Man does is a contender for best song of the album. This is Calvin doing something slightly different. He's certainly he's gone quite eclectic by this time, which is good. He's not just sticking to the one thing. So here is a couple of musical giants doing a song called Giant. Nothing Breaks Like a Heart there from Mark Ronson and Miley Cyrus. So yeah, Rag and Bone Man really goes ballistic with the vocals here. Now I'll be talking later about people over-singing. I don't think Rag and Bone Man does over-sing. It almost sounds quite effortless. He's got a big voice and it comes straight from the soul, but it feels also natural. It doesn't feel like he's really kind of stretching himself. It's just flawless, really, flawless vocals, and it suits doing something a bit more dancey. Wait for it to build in. Here we go. Nice bit of dynamics. Brilliant voice. Oh, I love it. Some weird synths about to come in that are slightly, well, they're weird, they're sort of discordant, but at least they're interesting. Do you like this one? So yeah, fantastic. Pretty good start so far, actually. Right, here come these weird synths. Anyway, Pink next with Walk Me Home. Not too bad. It's got a good military kind of beat, sort of stomping. It's reasonably well sang. It's got a good rousing chorus. Maybe not the best melody, but it's okay. Now, we'll follow this one up with Sam Smith yet again and Normani, Dancing with a Stranger. Of the two, I prefer Sam's voice. She's a bit generic. She's not too bad. Chorus sounds like a million other songs. So it's really maybe a bit below par for Sam. But his standards are so high normally that even below par Sam Smith's adequate. Right, Tom Walker, not so good this next one. Just You and I. His way of singing is ridiculous. He pronounces his words really stupidly. It's all a bit silly, really. That's Just You and I. Yeah, it's not very pleasant, really. Okay, now there's so many of these Jonas people around at the moment. There's Jonas Blue and stuff, isn't there? Jonas Brothers. I don't know if it's anything to do with them or not. Sucker, very boy bandy. It's not too bad. The rhythm's okay. It's quite up-tempo. And it's got this kind of grease lightning, hand clap sort of things going on. Right, I've just finally realised who George Ezra reminds me of. Rick Astley. He's got a similar kind of way of singing to Rick Astley. Yeah, different music, obviously. It's actually a pretty good song. It's another one that's a bit of a builder. It's a feel-good song, very uplifting. So yeah, that one gets a free pass. That's Pretty Shining People. Okay, not so good. James Arthur, Empty Space. His voice is really annoying. He's really he's kind of going a bit too far. Now, how does Rag and Bone Man get away with it and James Arthur not? I don't know really. The James Arthur ones is kind of a bit less than some of its parts. Maybe it's because the song doesn't really mop up the feeling. It's kind of an empty space. This one's got a lot going on, this Calvin and Rag and Bone one. Right, 32 appearances for Lewis Capaldi. And he's got another one that's another big voice. Maybe oversings it a bit. First up is Grace. Yeah, it's alright. It's definitely in this kind of post-Rag and Bone Man, George Ezra thing. So yeah, should we stick that one on? Lewis Capaldi and Grace. Doesn't really do subtle Lewis Capaldi. It's kind of all or nothing. Okay, anyway, we follow this one. Goodbye. That's pretty hard to handle. It's Jason Derulo, David Guetta, Nicki Minaj, and Willie William. Yeah, it's kind of a bit reggae-y. It's just a bit wearing, really nothing special, nothing we've not heard before. Okay, Little Mix. They certainly kept the hits coming, featuring Ty Dolla $ign, Think About Us. Well, like a lot of their stuff, there's something interesting to it. In this case, it's got some nice chords and these weird, almost like a kind of pipe organ, puffy noise. So it's not too bad. Another one that's not too bad, a bit cookie cutter, but it's alright. Marshmallow featuring Churches. Very high pitched vocals on that one. Here With Me. Not as good as Dido's Here With Me, a different song, but not too bad. Okay, Bruno Mars, he can be really good, he can be pretty lame. I don't really like Please Me, maybe because it's got Cardi B on it. It's old style R&B, I don't know, it's just a bit posy, a bit soulless, a bit fake. Just enough bad R&B, I suppose. Much better, with a similar kind of basis, but actually way better, is Khalid. It's got a similar kind of vibe, and I guess it is pretty much pure R&B. That's Talk. Next up, Mabel, Don't Call Me Up. Alright then. It's not too bad actually, it's very well produced. Bit of a silly kind of robotic voicing in the middle, but yeah, it's okay. Now, it's another one who's been really awful sometimes, not too bad other times. It's Charlie XCX and Troye Sivan and 1999. No, it's not the Prince song. It's funny how that one was way futuristic about what it's going to be like in the year 1999. And then 99 actually came along, and now, almost, 20 years later, Charlie XCX reminiscing on it. It was only a few weeks ago I was talking about Now 42, I think. Now 43 was the one that had Britney on it. Well, no, was that Now 46? Oh, I don't know, so many numbers. It was in the 40s, definitely. Yeah, no, I think it was Now 46. Someone out there will let me know. The one with Britney, Baby One More Time, which is actually name-checked in the lyrics to this. It also has a kind of dial-up modem sound, which was featured in a very bad George Michael song from about that era, which was all about the kind of futuristic internet stuff. Oh, what was that song? The George Michael one that had the broadband noises in it. Should we stick it on anyway? 1999. Was it all that? See, I don't think things have got any worse. Alright, this year's been a bit of a weird one. But what goes around comes around. If things go out of kilter, nature has a very good way of swinging things back into balance. My advice to you all is just to learn from these nows, really. If I can impart any sort of slightly deeper stuff from these videos, it is really just to sort of stand back, to let things happen, see things come, you see things go, and if they're good, they stick around. If they're bad, they fall by the wayside. Bad people can have a good day, good people can have a bad day. Always critical thinking. That's probably the best message I want to get to people. Critical thinking. Take everything. Take things on a song-by-song basis, a conversation-by-conversation basis, a message-by-message basis. Whatever. Don't broad brush strokes with stuff. Look at things individually. Even within a song, you can break it down. You can say, well, I like the beat, but I don't like the vocals. Or, well, I like these bits of the vocals, I don't like those bits. Great example of that, talking of Charlie XCX, was After the After Party. Really didn't like the verse, but I absolutely loved the chorus. So it is possible to think that about a song. I call him a curate's egg. Anyway, this one, 1999. Well, it's thought-provoking, isn't it? It's got me thinking about time and stuff. So yeah, alright, nice one. Good stuff. Don't Feel Like Crying, Sigrid. Well, that one's a bit more 2020 or 2019, really. It's a contender for one of the best on the album. Should we play it on? brings things pretty up to date and gives a very good idea of where music's at heading into this new decade now. Like I say, it's probably not had the best start for musicians. But, you know, don't feel like crying. See even positive. Yeah, this is really nice. This all comes together really well. Sigrid's had her duff moments, but she's pretty good. Alright, we follow this one up. Another good one, actually. A pretty good album, this. I am enjoying it. I want to play it as well. I'll talk about it for a bit and I'll get it stacked up. It's Camel Fat and Christoph, and it's Breathe. It features Jem Cook, and it's one of the heaviest, hardest dance songs for ages. Conspicuous by its absence, the harder end of dance music. Not necessarily fast, but just heavy bass, really heavy beat, interesting vocals on it. Yeah, I'll get it stacked up. So just a little bit there of Sigrid, Don't Feel Like Crying. Here's Camel Fat and Christoph and Breathe. This is another contender for best song on the album. Another big dynamic dance tune. I'd missed you dance music. Proper underground dance anyway. It's still fairly commercial, but I'm sure it would work on an underground set as well. Camel Fat and Christoph, Breathe. Okay, Jax Jones and Years, Play, both of whom have done stuff I've not really liked. They do bring out the best in each other here. It's actually very well sung and well produced. So yeah, that one's alright. That's not bad at all. That's Play. Next up we have 365, Zed and Katy Perry. Yeah, very forgettable. Katy Perry, I think, is probably past her peak by this point. I can't see her really cracking on that much into the 2020s. You never know. This is a bit underwhelming for Zed. It's okay, it's just very average. Okay, Zara Larsson, Ruined My Life. It's spoilt by silly use of the F word. Show some class, love. That's what my message to her was. I'll say it here, I'll say it there. Didn't need to do it. Okay, Dua Lipa now and Swan Song. Well, this is a bit of a departure. She did that thing with Andrea Bocelli, and she's now going off and doing something else that I'm going to play. The vocals, you know, they're not all that, but the beat is very, very good indeed. It's kind of quite Afrocentric. Let's get one on. And it's from Alita, Battle Angel, and it's called Swan Song. And it's a pretty pumping tune indeed. Lots of chanting and stuff. Yeah, I don't really like her voice, but you know, critical thinking. I like the beats. Right, anyway. Next up is Ariana Grande, Thank You Next. It's got Nicki Minaj on it. Another one where I like Ariana's bits, I don't like Nicki's bits. Critical thinking yet again. Curate Seg of a song. Nicki's bit is appalling, effing and enning around. It's just so divisive and abrasive, and it has a social impact, that sort of stuff. Ariana's bits are okay, but yeah, I think we have reached peak Ariana by this point. Okay, Capaldi's back. I nearly said Peter Capaldi, Doctor Who. Someone You Loved, Lewis Capaldi. His voice really is ridiculously unsubtle on this. The song's a bit repetitive. It's kind of wannabe classy, but it's not dynamic and soulful enough. So, a shame. Now, here's one that really blew me away, in a good way. I think this might be the best thing I've ever heard by Lady Gaga. Alright, that doesn't set the bar very high. It's Bradley Cooper's really the brainchild behind the whole thing. It's Shallow, and it's as acoustic as I've ever heard Lady Gaga sing. A lot of people say, oh look, she's wearing no makeup. I think of it in terms of audio makeup. She's wearing no audio makeup. There's no chipmunk voices or novelty synths. It's literally Bradley Cooper a guitar, Lady Gaga coming in on their backing vocals. Well, not even backing vocals, duet vocals. It's from A Star Is Born, which was one of her big acting debuts, I think. Bradley Cooper pretty much did everything in that film. Directed it, did all the music. So yeah, interesting. Very, very interesting. Okay, now another one. The first of three that comes from this Greatest Showman thing. Bloody hell. Well, that's Barnum for you. Didn't believe in doing things by half. He said he had something for everyone. Hence the Barnum statement, the Barnum effect. Now, I thought about this before actually, and maybe it's quite a good time to bring it up. What the Barnum statement is, how it applies to critical thinking, how it applies to pop music. See, the Barnum statement is that we interpret things that are really universal, but we kind of personalise and we make them about us. And pop music is the ultimate in a Barnum statement. When you ever hear lyrics in a song and you can really relate to them, and you're like, oh wow, yeah. Even though obviously the songwriter's never met you, it's not about you, it's about their own life. It might be real, it might be just imagined. But when you hear it and you identify with it, now if you take 1 million people, and in fact that's been a big part of these series, is which songs have real impact on billions of people. When you have a song that does that, that has a really strong Barnum effect. Millions and billions of people hear it and it resonates with them. That's what Barnum was all about. So it's in fact highly relevant to pop music. These Now albums, they're like huge great Barnum statements. We've looked at 101, well 102 of them now. They're like a kind of overall, overarching gestalt, best fit of what we as a society have been listening to for the last 3 months, or however long. And as such, they really do try and have something for everyone. And I think the best nows are the ones that really do have the strongest Barnum effect. That whatever you like, however old you are, whatever race, whatever gender you are, there's just a load of great songs. And the worst nows are the ones that are too niche. They're just not appealing songs. They don't resonate. You can't relate to them. So there we go. There's a bit about Barnum and the Barnum effect, which wasn't, by the way, pioneered by him. It was just named after him. Now let's talk about the musical, The Greatest Showman. Well, the first of the 3 songs then. Should we stick it on, or should we wait? I think we'll wait. We'll come back with some more Barnum music. But first up, This Is Me then, from The Greatest Showman Ensemble, and it leads with Keela Settled. Right, we'll come back to Barnum shortly, very shortly. First though, it's our old friend Jess Glynn. She's really good, she always gets it right vocally. I play a lot of her songs, and guess what? I think I'll play this one, Thursday. So anyway, that was Lady Gaga and Bradley Cooper, Shallow, which actually isn't shallow really, it's actually got a bit of depth to it. And if you want Shallow from Lady Gaga, you won't probably just dance. Thursday, Jess Glynn. This isn't shallow either, this has got a lot of resonance. A lot of women seem to really like these lyrics. Sure, a lot of blokes do as well. It's just following on from the thing about Lady Gaga wearing no makeup, unadorned, just take her as who she is. Yeah, good, great lyrics, great message. Compare and contrast with Ariana Grande and 7 Rings. Yeah, good stuff, Jess. We like this one, as I've liked pretty much everything you've done. You're a good egg. Right, okay, next up is Freer Ridings. Is that anything to do with Yorkshire? I'm here in the West Riding. I don't think it is. It's uber slow. It's like ridiculously slow. And it is very annoying to my ears, her voice. But, you know, talking of the Barnum effect, looking at the comments on it, a lot of people really resonate with it. A lot of people feel something from the lyrics. I won't play it, but I'll read you some of the lyrics, just so you can get an idea for yourself of what people think. So it's good, in fact, this album has got a lot of lyrics you can relate to. Yeah, people can say regarding... well, I'll read out some for this, but regarding Frida Ridings, people are saying... This was my best friend's funeral song. The song genuinely means so much to me. It gives me shivers every time I hear it. This comment section has me in tears. I'm so sorry for everyone's losses. Your loved ones will always live on. I was married to my high school sweetheart for 40 years, but knew her for 47 years. She's been gone for 6 years now. This song just tugs at my heart so bad. I lost my baby on Friday through miscarriage at 10 weeks, and this song relates to all that I feel all at the moment. Well, you know, Freya Riding's Lost Without You, alright, doesn't really resonate with me at this time, but it does resonate with a lot of people. It's got a good Barnum impact there. Regarding his Jess Glynn one as well, Thursday, such an important message, someone says. A good example of a song that isn't offensive, doesn't use inappropriate. The song is all about self-love, and that's so important. This song speaks to me on a personal level. I have so many insecurities, and whenever people call me pretty and say I don't need to change, they don't realise it's a lot harder than that. I constantly feel ugly and flawed. Wow, I'm welling up. Kiss. Oh dear. Last time I welled up doing one of these was with Amy Winehouse. And Tears Are Not Enough. What's it called? Tears Dry on Their Own. What was Tears Are Not Enough? That was another one. Tears Dry on Their Own. And before that it was Alita Adams. You never know when it's going to come. You never know when it's going to hit you. Guess Glenn, you're in that club. You've reduced this reviewer to tears. That's just brilliant. Fantastic stuff indeed. Okay, how do we follow that? My God, this is a good album. We follow this with another stunning song. This is absolutely unbelievably good. It won't make me cry. It's an absolute contender for best song on the album. There's so many good songs on this one. Wow. It's Jack Savaretti and Candlelight. This is different from anything else. It's just epic. It's really well sang. It's got great melody. It's really haunting. It's a real builder of a song. Really dynamic, dramatic. Got a kind of sort of gothic aesthetic to it. Yeah, great stuff. Really good song. Do you know what? I missed out Rewrite the Stars. Got carried away. Rewrite the Stars. James Arthur and Anne-Marie. Okay, it's another Barnum one. It's a reimagining. It wasn't the original film soundtrack one. And it's not as good, to be honest. I don't think I did a very good version of it, to be honest. Right, you can have too much of a good thing. Right, another really good one now. Really, really good song. It's 1975, and It's Not Living If It's Not With You. Now that one, sonically, that takes us right back to about 1987 rather than 1975. I reckon that one could have come on now 9, maybe now 10. What do you reckon? Very, very 80s in terms of production, but still kind of sounds like a modern 2019 song as well. So it's one of their best yet. Okay, take that. Disappointing, Everlasting. It's a bit too jolly. And I'm sure it resonates with people and stuff, but I didn't really feel that one. Hosier, Almost Sweet Music. That's maybe not quite as good as Take Me to Church, but it's not bad. It's similar, kind of spiritual thing going on. Then it's a real surprise comeback for Bryan Adams. Wow. Last on an hour, probably in the late 90s. When he was doing all that kind of trancey sort of stuff, electronica. It's gone back to his roots. None of that computerised crap. Could have been recorded in the 80s. Pretty good song. Very Bryan. It's what he does best. Nice to hear it. Unpretentious. Ditto Michael Bublé, Love You Anymore. Pretty simple song. It's like one of those I'm Not In Love denial songs. Another denial song. What a psychodrama this album has been. It really has. Incredible. We follow that on up with an even more incredible comeback. And a great link with now one. It's Rod Stewart and Look in Her Eyes. Wow. I'll get it on. No, I won't. Shall I get it on? Nah. I'll draw the line. It's okay. It's definitely interesting hearing Rod Stewart doing a 2019 pop song with a pretty modern arrangement. I think he's done well there to bring that all in. So yeah, interesting. And his voice is still Rod, like Bryan Adams, really. Just kind of one of those real, I wouldn't say grating, but piercing voices. And it's kind of good to have him back. It's better than that one that was on Now 40, I think. The Do You Think I'm Sexy entrance thing. Now, Barnum has been the theme of this album. Here it is, finally. The Greatest Show, the actual song itself. It's Hugh Jackman, Keela Settle, Zac Efron, Zendaya, and the Greatest Showman ensemble. So they've really milked it on this now, haven't they? Incredible. And there's all sorts going on here. Now we've already had a great album of 40 songs, which would have been a classic in its own right, I think. Cherry on the cake is 6 songs from now too, which is brilliant in synthesising a bit of history with the present day. All in all, pretty good selection. Relax, definitely. Frankie Goes to Hollywood. Nick Kershaw, wouldn't it be good? Definitely. Break My Stride was actually my weak point, but it was such a good album now too, but it's not even a bad song. It's definitely interesting. Girls Just Want to Have Fun, yeah, classic, and obviously it survives into the 2020s now. Culture Club, It's a Miracle, interesting, cool. And the Thompson Twins, Hold Me Now, definitely. Going back through the rest of them then, well, this is an album that's moved me to tears, that's got to be good. 7 Rings by Ariana. Lyrically it's a bit crass, musically it's a bit crass, but despite all that, it's not too bad. Sweet But Psychos, okay, for Ava Max. Nothing Breaks Like a Heart was interesting, Mark and Miley. Giant, really good, Calvin Harris and Rag and Bone Man. Pink, Walk Me Home was adequate. Sam Smith and Normani, a bit disappointing, Dancing with a Stranger. Then there's a few that weren't all that. Pretty Shining People by George Ezra was okay. Grace, Lewis Capaldi was alright. A few more that are kind of meh. Talk by Khaled's alright, I suppose. 1999's interesting. Charlie XCX. Don't Feel Like Crime by Sigrid was pretty good. Contender for best song on the album. Breathe, Camel Fat and Christoph. Swan Song was interesting. Dua Lipa. Shallow was really good. Bradley Cooper and Lady Gaga. Never thought I'd say that in my lifetime. A good song by Lady Gaga, but there we go. Shallow. Then we've got Thursday by Jess Glynn. Was great. Really good. Moved me to tears, really, with the comments. Candlelight, probably the best song of the album. Jack Savaretti, in terms of pure music. It's Not Living, the 1975 is pretty good. Hosier, almost sweet music. Did I mention Westlife? If not, meh. They're still here. I think I might have forgotten to mention them, but that's what I thought about the song. Michael Bublé was alright, Love You Anymore. Pleasant surprise comebacks from Bryan Adams and Rod Stewart. Nice little link with the 80s there. And this one, The Greatest Show, from The Greatest Show. The Barnum Effect. And there's some good songs from now too. What a roller coaster. I've loved this one. Really, really good album. I'm Still Here. Woo! Next up, we've got Now 103. And there's literally only 3 more to go now before we get to the present day. Can't wait. Alright, see you later everybody. As always, let me know your thoughts in the comments. See you later guys.